Your Majesty, Malulu will soon take to the field. Are we not positioned a little too close? I fear ye may be injured by the Frost Giant's ice magic.
Does thou think thy king feeble? I was fighting the Frost Dragon before thou had cut thy first tooth, boy! Hurry back to Castle Frostforge if thou art so afeard.
That's not what I meant, Your Majesty. It's those settlers. What if they should turn their swords upon ye in the midst of battle?
Ha! Thou thinks I fear settlers? We've sent their kind fleeing from battle time and time again! A gaggle of settlers reaches the final, and thou loses all faith in thine own kinsmen?
Not at all. Sire, please, pay my words no heed.
Guards! Take this craven wretch away, and throw him in the castle dungeons. Go cower there a while. Even a frost dragon wouldn't be able to trouble thee. Settlers.
Your Grace, do you feel like someone's watching us? The enemy's ahead of us, but I just felt a chill up my spine. At times like this, I start to wonder who we should be fighting. That's... I could lift you up on my shoulders, Your Grace, but I still don't think you'd reach him. Well, it seems like when he says Lulu, he's either happy or angry. Look out! Here he comes!
The flow of fate never ceases. Don't worry.
We will fight side by side once more.
Oh, wow, amazing! That was incredible!
Did thou see that? The Frost Giant stomped on the settlers, but they didn't even try to dodge.
They used the tremor from the stomp to launch themselves high enough to hit Lulu in the arm.
The dwarves are cheering our victory, Your Grace. And Grace, I think he's
Lulu's crying.
Lulu's crying!
a snow man. I might be an ice mage, Your Grace, but I don't think anyone's ever managed to create a homunculus from snow. Finally, we are the champions, Your Grace. Phew. I couldn't half go for a pint of Tonne rye beer right now.
Your Majesty, it's time to announce the winner. Do ye...
If it's time, it's time. Why dost thou ask me? Thou thinks I would break the rules of the tournament just because the winners are settlers? That I would go back on my word, as the Oathbreakers say of me?
No, that's not what I meant, Your Majesty. It's just, at a time like this, when the dwarves are fighting with settlers, do ye really intend to let a settler into our treasury and hand them an artifact?
It's not just any treasury. It's the treasury of the High King of Castle Frostforge. Tell me, boy, what harm can a single settler do right under my nose? Guards, take this craven.
I'll just go announce the winner.
Settlers. We'll see what happens next.
It all happened 10 years ago. Back then, Mermont and I were both just ordinary royal guards. And then, on one cold night, a frost dragon saw fit to awake from its 1,000-year slumber and attack Castle Frostforge. Before that, dragons were the stuff of legends. They quickly turned to a sign of the end times.
We faced the flame dragon. We know how powerful dragons are.
Yes. We all thought the defenses were impenetrable, that they didn't stand a chance. I never once stopped swinging my axe, but all the while, I thought we were done for. All of Belleron was finished, and I was going to die. But then I saw someone. We all watched as he broke through the lines, faced down the Frost Dragon, and took the fatal blow meant for the High King. His faith in his oath made him fearless. But he was just doing what every royal guard is sworn to do: protect his majesty. When I looked at him, I felt the weight of the great axe in my hands. Aye, that battle was where Mermont became a hero. The following year, the former High King was slain in the mines of Calon by the Frost Dragon, and Mermont was crowned a new sovereign. He led us in the fight against the dragon, while advocating for an alliance with the settlers. I traveled around Belleron arguing his case. All the people of Belleron paid a heavy price in the War of the Last Snows. But in the end, we drove the Frost Dragon back to the frozen Eyrie. It was many years ago. Thinking about it now, it feels like ancient history.
It sounds like the current High King is quite the formidable warrior. But... exactly. In the arena, we felt his gaze on us quite a few times. I wouldn't say it was a kindly one.
Believe me, it's all because of Mana Stone. The old Mermont was open and generous, not angry and irritable like he is today. Speaking of which, ye must take great care during the audience at Castle Frostforge tomorrow. Given Mermont's current attitude to settlers, I doubt he's pleased with your victory. I don't think so. Even with his terrible temper, he should still respect the rules. We just need to be careful not to provoke him.
We? You want to go too, Goodwall? But your leg. Besides, won't the High King fly into a rage if he sees you with us?
My leg's not a problem, and you need someone to help keep the situation under control. Purification takes time. You won't be able to bring backup with you into Castle Frostforge, and Mermont will be surrounded by royal guards. This is what I really need to discuss with you. Inside the treasury, you'll find the First King's axe. Pull it, and the floor will open up and drop you straight into the dungeons of Castle Frostforge. That mechanism was originally put there to defend against thieves. Right thou art, as always. Tomorrow, thou needs to find a way to lure the guards in front of the axe, then activate the mechanism. Walder and I will cover thee once most of the royal guards are gone, so thou can get on with the purification. We can't arouse suspicions until the mechanism's been activated, so I beg ye, have patience with Mermont. I'll have to disguise myself, too.
Well, here's to the plan.
To the plan!
Settlers.
We come to pay our respects. Oh, great High King.
We're at war. Don't bother catching. As King of Belleron, I must congratulate ye on your victory in the Tournament of Champions.
He's more reasonable than I thought, Your Grace.
Hey! What are you muttering about? I wasn't finished! You settlers have got no manners. You may have won the tournament, but I trust you can see the situation clearly. The bravest dwarven warriors are out there bleeding on the battlefield, not punching about in front of an audience. You might be champions, but that doesn't mean you've bested the dwarves, or that settlers are the greater warriors. Ye look down on Belleron at your own peril.
Ah, we actually never thought of it like that. But when you put it that way...
Something wrong with your flunky there? Some kind of wee halfling boy, is he? Belleron's no place for the weak of body and mind. He'd be better off back in Tamaris. Dost thou finally believe me now, settler? Each of these artifacts is a witness to dwarven courage. Thousands of years ago, our forefather Menez led the dwarves to repel the frost dragon. In those days, Yargan was a wasteland, and Tamaris was nothing but long-eared elves and talking trees. That huge axe in the middle was the very one wielded by Menez.
I've heard about the great deeds of the dwarven forefathers, but I never thought their weapons would be so... rustic. Your Grace, I just remembered what Goodwell said yesterday. The mechanism is hidden behind the first King's axe. Do you remember how to activate it? I'm sorry, but I'm a little foggy. I think I drank too much last night.
If Menez had been able to use a rune hammer, he'd have been an even greater hero. It was over 3,000 years ago that the great dwarven blacksmith Levador tamed the power of lightning for our warhammers. Levador lived for more than 400 years. Aye, long ears aren't the only ones with long lives. Where is everyone?
Thou! Thou cretinous settler!
Damn it! Come on, boys!
Your Grace.
An accident, really? You just want to steal our ancestors' artifacts, don't ye? So what are ye up to? Say, what are you trying to...